All right, what's up, everybody? Doing my post game here in my car. I apologize for this, but if you saw our Twitter, and if you were following along on Twitter, as these videos are on Twitter and on YouTube, I tried to eat as many hot dogs as I physically possibly could, and it did not go well, and I don't feel good. I really don't. I ate 11. I wanted to vomit since about 6 o'clock, and my stomach is killing me. So it's kind of the things we do for content. So this game was brutal. Flyers lose 2-1 to the St. Louis Blues in a shootout. They get a point, and I'm glad that they at least get a point. Obviously, you want the win. That's obviously something that you strive for, especially later in the year. You need points, right? Other teams. When the Flyers won Saturday, the Devils, Penguins, and Capitals all played yesterday on Sunday. They all lost in regulation. Capitals lost 5-2 to the Coyotes. Devils lost 5-1 to the Kings. And Pittsburgh got blown out by the Oilers. I believe 6-1 was the final. So that was good. And unfortunately, the Flyers only did get 1 point tonight, and right now they're 3 games up on the Islanders, and they have 66. So the only team that really benefits right now is the Islanders. Every other one is off by a couple points with similar games as New York. So it's good for the Flyers because they at least get a point, and obviously you need points. I did not think tonight was the Flyers' best game. It was just it just felt. I don't really know how to describe this one. It felt off, and I think you don't have Konechny. He was at practice this morning. At least with Konechny, it seems like he'll be back Thursday, and you have 1 game left before the deadline. I don't know if the Flyers are going to hold anyone out. I'm assuming they probably will. That's my guess. I'm assuming Adder is probably going to play Thursday. Sealer, I don't think is going to get held out. I'm assuming he's going to play. He played through an injury tonight, and he was kind of hobbling around. He got hit with a block shot, which is obviously that's fitting for Sealer, right? So obviously tonight wasn't the best game. The Flyers in the first period, I felt like they got hemmed in a couple of times. The Blues really, and for some reason, the second periods recently. I mean, they've had past couple of games. They've had some second periods where they just look bad. I'm not 100% sure why and where that's coming from, but at least recently that's what that's been. Just a ton of bad changes and I shouldn't say bad changes, maybe bad timings of specific things, whether it's change or a specific play, getting the puck out. I said on Saturday, I felt like in the game against Ottawa where they just kept rimming it, no defenseman was there. Tonight it just felt like none of the wingers were really in their spots, and they just weren't getting it deep enough at times. And it was frustrating, I think, because St. Louis isn't the best team, and the Flyers did open the scoring after 3 shifts in a row, where the Blues had consecutive scoring chances. They led after the first period. They had shots were 12-5 in favor of the Flyers. Second period was more St. Louis. They had a couple power plays. Refs were pretty brutal, honestly. There was a couple ones that were really missed on the Flyers. And again, the Flyers power play doesn't help them. I don't know, and I forget who tweeted it, but and I've said this all season. Someone had mentioned basically that the power play, that's the end all be all of their season, and they're 100% right. I mean, it's been one of the reasons in majority of the games I've talked about with losses and specific moments and guys in specific spots. I talked about it on the last podcast. So many different things go into this power play, and they just don't have it, and I don't get it. And the setup and everything, and they went with a different setup tonight. Couturier was back on it. They used Brink, moved some guys around in some different spots. It didn't necessarily work in the Flyers' favor, unfortunately, but that was kind of where that went. And of course, Kevin Hayes would score, right? I mean, you just knew that was coming. I mean, he's sitting all the way out in the neutral zone. Flyers are caught, spring for a breakaway. It beats Urson, and it just kind of slid past them. And then we went. I mean, the Flyers had chances in overtime. Like I didn't love the start of overtime. Paling with Cates and Sanheim. Like, why? What is the point of that? Why can't you give me Couturier with Tippett and York. Or if you really want to do that, you could do Poehling, who I'm fine. I don't mind Poehling because he's fast. So that's cool. But you could do Poehling with Tippett and Sanheim, or Tippett and York. But why is Cates and Poehling? Like, are you playing to get to a shootout? Like, I don't really get that. Sanheim had that chance. York hit the crossbar. The Post kind of helped the Flyers the other night against Ottawa. It hurt them tonight against the Blues. Sometimes it just is what it is. But to have a really bad game Friday and then to get 3 out of 4 in some pretty crucial games, especially without Konechny, I mean, that's a good thing to do, especially when you've been able to score. And, I didn't know how long this was going to last without Konechny either. So, it's definitely good to put that together. So, I think we'll see kind of what happens here coming up with the deadline and all. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of changes. And I think, with what kind of happens soon and with the deadline and everything, it should be very interesting. So thanks, everybody, again, for all the support, as always. Thanks for sticking along with the hot dog adventure. That was quite the time. So thanks, everybody, again, for all the support, as always. My name is Chris, and I'll talk to you all again soon.